Hey, everybody. We're live and welcome to Hump Day Hangouts. This is episode 189. We're getting closer and closer to 200. And actually, we're just having a discussion about actually 208 is kind of being like I think what we'll probably choose. We'll probably have two fun episodes, right? Yeah. I'm just going to say, yeah, at 200, that's a cool number. But 208, because technically, right, 52 weeks in a year, multiply that by 4. So we'll definitely, I think we'll have something fun on 200 and 208. So anyways, before I get carried away with numbers here, let's say hi to everybody. Chris, how you doing, man? I like your shirt, by the way.
Good. Yeah. Hold on. Actually, I've seen the new one.
Oh, really? Did you get the new one?
Yeah.
No?
On Mastermind members, I got it.
Nice. Yeah, we got to share some pictures. We'll talk to the Mastermind members and see if they can show their pride there, the Mastermind, show off their T-shirts. But I'm not, so I'm going to keep my logo covered because I'm not wearing my Mastermind shirt. But Hernan, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Look at this.
Bam, the new one.
Yeah, there you go. I'm doing great. I'm super excited for today. I'm super excited for what's coming. I'm super pumped for the event that we're going to be holding. So, yeah, things are looking really good.
Nice. Marco, how you doing?
Marco is always wearing the polo.
Yeah.
Like 24/7.
That's his profile photo, Hernan.
Yeah. Oh.
That's all. I gotta change that. I gotta go back to my thinking spot and change that image.
Well, in lack of anything else going on, how's the weather down there?
Oh shit.
It's warm. It's about to rain. It's always warm. What can I say? Groundhog Day. Only thing that changes is whether it's wet or it's dry.
Fair enough. Well, Bradley, you didn't get washed away in the thunderstorms yesterday, did you?
No, but it's raining right now, actually, again. So more storms. So if I lose power, guys,
if Hump Day goes away, you guys know what happened. It's the storm, not us.
If I lose power, I'm going for a beer. So.
All right, we better get into it then. Real quick, I wanted to tell everybody, so today is obviously Wednesday. On Monday, this coming Monday, the 25th, we're going to have a quick overview webinar. Bradley's going to be running the show on that, talking about leads recon. So if you're not familiar with this is a really good product by Ted Chen, same guy who developed Power Suggest Pro, which is obviously one of our go-to keyword research tools. And this is also like his other tools. It's a great tool. It does exactly what you need it to do. It's simple to use and it's effective. So we're going to be going over a little bit more details on how to do that. And Ted was really nice and hooked us up with a special offer that we're going to be able to pass along to you guys. So highly suggest that you register. Come check it out. I don't know. I'm not going to make everyone say, but I know between the 5 of us, there's multiple licenses. So I know at least a few of us use this.
Yeah, I was in there playing with it today. I mean, I'll be 100% transparent. My main lead scraping tool is Lead Kahuna. I've been using that forever. It's slow though, and so I had to hire a VA to do it. What I like about Leads Recon is it's very much like Power Suggest Pro in that it spits out leads very, very quickly. It doesn't give near as much data, but really, how much of that data do you really use? And that's what really slows Lead Kahuna down, is because it pulls in so much data and it takes so long. Leads Recon, it's very simple. It just pulls up listings both from Facebook and from Google My Business, so maps basically. And what I found is really great about it, and again, I'm going to demo all this on Monday for you guys, but the Facebook scraping that it does, it extracts like Gmail addresses, Yahoo addresses, because these are the business owners that created their own Facebook page and just used their own their main profile, main Gmail email account as their Facebook email, right? And so that's what ends up being extracted from Facebook. So you get a really good email address from the Facebook scraping, especially. So again, I'll demo all this stuff on Monday, guys. But if you don't already have a lead scraping tool that you're using, I know many of our mastermind members, because we've been talking so much about prospecting and stuff lately, have been asking about how to get access to a lead scraping tool. And so again, if you don't have the money for Lead Kahuna, or you don't need all that data, which many of you probably don't, it's probably better to go with something like Leads Recon. So I'm excited to share that with you guys on Monday.
Good deal. All right. And after that, we got something special coming up over the 4th of July, but we're going to keep the lid on that for a little bit, and we'll be letting everyone know about that soon. And like Hernan mentioned, though, we got the live event. We set the date like we told everyone last week. Live event is going to be the weekend of October 20th this year, and we're starting to finalize a lot of the topics. And, you know, it's really getting good. We meant what we said last week. If you contacted us, we're going to have a special deal for you to get a ticket to go there. We're finalizing guest speakers as well. Jeffrey Smith is going to be joining us, which is going to be freaking awesome. We got a couple other people we're talking to, and we don't want to say anything till, you know, we get their thumbs up and we know that they're on board. But we've got a lot of topics that we're going to be covering. And again, we're finalizing that as well. I'm looking forward to, one, being there, and then two, sharing some information. So should be good.
Awesome.
All right. On my end, that's everything. You guys got anything else we need to cover?
Okay.
I think we're good.
Jump all at once.
Let's do this.
All right, cool. Let's get into it.
Go.
All right. So first up is Dabi. Hey bros, got a question, Bradley. When you use multiple subdomains for your local SEO sites, are you using some sort of multi-site plugin like Mainwp, or do you use the normal WordPress multi-site installation? Which one do you prefer or recommend? Well, yes and no. For some of my multi-location sites, it depends on how many locations. I probably should have Mainwp for each one of them, but I don't. Some of them are just, you know, 3 sites or 2 sites or something like that. So I don't have a like a Mainwp. We just go in and manually, and mostly my curators handle like updating WordPress sites and plugins and stuff like that. For some of my more you know, service providers or whatever, where I've got multi locations or even clients for that matter, then yeah, I'll use Mainwp. So just on the root domain, because you guys have heard me say many times that I use the root domain, and then we build out subdomain sites for the individual locations. So the root domain is really just used as like a corporate brochure, if that makes sense. And so and a lot of times we'll use the blog from the root domain too, to syndicate to a branded network, and unless we need a specific location-based syndication network for a particular location that might not be responding as well to the blog on the root. So that's a good place actually to add the Mainwp if you're going to use that. And that just streamlines being able to update the plugins and WordPress installation and themes and stuff like that. So yeah, I would use Mainwp. I've never done a WordPress multi-site. I've never once have I ever worked on a WordPress multi-site anything. And I don't really ever have any desire. Never have I had a desire to do it either. I've heard a lot of like weird things that happens with that and all that. So I don't know anything about it. I just knew to stay away from it. So as far as WordPress multi-site, no, but Mainwp, yes. For clients that have multiple locations, but if it's just 1 or 2 or maybe 3 locations, a lot of times I don't even bother with that. It's a good question though.
Yeah. If I can add real quick, some of the plugins, like not all of them, but some of the plugins that we use or that we used to use weren't compatible with WPMU. That's why we weren't using it. And yeah, Mainwp you can even put that on a subdomain for managing stuff. It's amazing. So yeah, that would be my intake on it. I always managed individual WordPress installations with Mainwp, if anything.
Yep. Same thing I do. So Jay Bones up, he says, hi, hello. I need to find the best and most effective method of getting many thousands of unique and HTML-based web pages indexed in the search engines. He's doing a mass page builder stuff. That's the churn and burn strategy. What is the most effective tool for this? What about Money Robot and Ghost Indexer? You know, all of the stuff that I used to talk about for indexing, I don't know if it's still as effective, because I know within the last like month or 2, probably 2 months now, a lot of the indexing services, like Google's just like indexing slower now. So maybe one of the other guys on here can give you some pretty good suggestions. I know from some other people that are also building mass page sites that if you hit the sitemaps with some links, those tend to work fairly well, because you've got, obviously the sitemaps are just a list of URLs from the site. So spamming those apparently works fairly well. But again, I don't really do any mass page stuff at all anymore. So I I'm not up to speed on what's really working for that. 2 years ago, I could have told you exactly what to do. Any suggestion, guys?
I haven't been doing it myself, and I know there's a lot of other methods, like when you're dealing with mass page builds, but I will say not just go to SERPspace and do it, but go to SERPspace, contact support, and take a look at the different packages there, because I know the indexing rate was insane. But again, they may want to know exactly what you're doing so that they can tell you if it's going to be a good fit or not. So I would suggest doing that as one option.
Yeah, I do agree with Adam. I used to do it with, I think it was Lead Gadget and MPC, Mass Page Creator, which we will create, I don't know, a couple million websites. It was nuts. But people started abusing the Google indexer URL so much that, you know, that Google caught up to it. So yeah, I would definitely go with indexing on SERPspace, and any type of backlinks, like, you know, sometimes tweeting the sitemap and whatnot will help. But have in mind that since it's mostly duplicate content, you know, within the website, and the pages add little value unless you have a really complex template, then, you know, that's something that you need to have in mind. It's being harder and harder and harder to index these type of websites because of that.
Yep. I mean, think about it, guys. For you know, I did training for Lead Gadget for quite some time, and there was a reason, because it worked really well. I'm not saying it doesn't still work, but I'm saying it's been years now, right? It's been like 3 years since I really did a whole lot of stuff with Lead Gadget, and before that it was SERPshaker, right? And so, like, Google's had plenty of time to catch up to these mass spam things. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I would recommend, Jay, only besides, you know, contacting SERPspace, because we do have Dedia, who's our link building manager, and he handles the indexing services, and he does all our spam stuff. So he knows what works and what doesn't. He could probably point you in the right direction. But I would also suggest that whatever mass page generator it is that you're building or using, excuse me, that you contact, you know, the support over there and ask them what they're doing. Maybe they've got a Facebook group, something like that, because the people that are in the trenches using those tools all the time are going to know best. And all I can do is just give you theory at this point, because I don't do that sort of work anymore. So, okay.
Dedia had run into this very problem. He wasn't getting indexing. It was garbage. And so he started looking around. We spoke right when this started happening. When Google throttled the URL submitter, which everyone was using, that's when the indexing took a dump. However, I know that Dedia has been able to achieve over 40% indexing with whatever he's doing. I'm not going to give away what he's doing or what he's using, because that's you know, that's proprietary how he does it. If he wants to reveal it at some point, it's up to him. It's not up to me. But I know that that's ridiculous right now. If you can get over 40, I mean, you're doing a great job.
That's right. So yeah, definitely check it out, Jay. Again, and I'm sure whatever mass page generator you're using, there's people that can help you and provide some guidance. Ralph Peterson's up. He says, hey guys, I've been having issues connecting my self-hosted WordPress blog to IFTTT. I also have one other hosted site that will just not connect, or that just will not connect, excuse me. They both were at one time connected, but the connection was somehow broken, and I've tried to reconnect, but it just will not. One site, I even deleted the original IFTTT and signed up for a new account, and it still will not connect. Any direction would be sincerely appreciated. Okay, so I've had that happen on a few occasions, and usually it's one of two things. It's either a plugin or theme conflict. There's some plugin or theme that is causing a problem. Some of the plugins that I know can cause problems with connecting a self-hosted WordPress blog to IFTTT are any of the bot blocker plugins, like Spider Spanker. There's a number of them out there now. Any of those bot blocking plugins, because the IFTTT bot, which is on the blacklist essentially. So if you can find, I know you used to be able to, I used to use those bot blocker plugins a lot because I used to run PBNs and stuff like that. I don't anymore. I don't use those plugins at all anymore because I don't run PBNs, but I know that there used to be a way to Google the IFTTT bot name so that you could add it to the whitelist. And that would work. So like I used to use Spider Spanker, And there was self-hosted WordPress sites would not connect to IFTTT as long as Spider Spanker was installed until I had added the IFTTT bot name to the whitelist, and then it would connect. So I know, like, chances are that could be it, Ralph. I don't know if you're using any of those plugins, but if you are, that's likely the culprit. Disable the plugin and try connecting again if that's the case. Also, you could try disabling all plugins and trying to connect and see if it will connect. And if it does, then you can disconnect and start re-enabling one at a time until you figure out which one it is that's causing the conflict. If that's the problem, it could also be a theme issue. It's less likely to be a theme, but it is still possible. Other than that, I would say, I think that should be it. Now, the only other thing I would perhaps take a look at is if you're using like Cloudflare or something like that, which masks your DNS, that may create an issue, but I'm not 100% sure on that either. So I would just try to, if you've got other self-hosted WordPress sites that are connected, see if there's any difference in plugins or setup on the on the server side or anything like that. But that's typically how I would do it. Do you guys have any instruction on that? Okay, no, that's a no.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, again, try that, because I know we had a question in the Facebook group, the Syndication Academy Facebook group. I think it was Carolyn Trisela. Anyways, this was just covered on the last Syndication Academy update webinar. I think it was the last one. It might have been the one previous to that. It was within the last two Syndication Academy update webinars where I was specifically, because this was brought up in the Facebook group. A couple other people were saying they were having issues too. And I went through some of the known causes of problems and also how to resolve, and all that's in the update webinar. So Ralph, I would go check the archives for the updates and see, like I said, either it was last month or the month prior to that. And you should be able to find a little bit more information on there. But I know for sure they do still connect. It's likely a plugin or a theme issue. Also, it could be a host, by the way. If they're both on the same host, there could be something in the host blocking it. So that might be something else you would want to troubleshoot. By the way, I think we're going to have a Syndication Academy update webinar next Tuesday afternoon, or at 5 p.m. I haven't scheduled it yet, but I think I'm going to in the next 24 hours or so. So you guys that are in Syndication Academy, you'll get the Facebook event notification. Okay, I'm not even going to attempt that name, excuse me. But in GMB, do you recommend doing the paid ads that get local leads? Yes and no. Okay. I wouldn't, and if you're in local GMB Pro, I actually literally just addressed this yesterday. I added 3 additional training videos for how to use YouTube to drive traffic into local GMB posts, or just the ecosystem period. One of the things that I talk about in that, I'm not revealing too much, Marco, so don't worry. I know Marco's already starting to sweat. One of the things is that in the GMB dashboard, you see how they keep pushing, AdWords does. Google keeps pushing an AdWords coupon for $100, right? I think that's pretty much common across all GMB dashboards right now. If you have not set up an AdWords account yet, they'll promote it until you do. And they'll give you $100 in free AdWords credit if you spend $50, which is fine. That's great. Use it. But when you click that button, it's going to automatically set you up with a AdWords Express account. Now, I don't have any experience with AdWords Express in the last like 2 years, but I know 2 years ago it was shit. It was junk. It was for people that didn't know or had no desire or competency in learning how to run AdWords campaigns. So AdWords Express was a very quick and easy way to set up an ad, but that gives you like virtually no control over it other than geographic targeting, really. And you can adjust the headline and stuff like that, but there was very little control. And again, this was like 2 years ago. So I started to go through that process yesterday when I was recording the training for Local GMB Pro, and a lot has changed in AdWords Express since the last time I went through an entire setup. So I have not tested it recently to know if AdWords Express is a viable option or not, but I know from the past that I would always rather manually run my campaigns through the regular AdWords dashboard. So what I'm suggesting for GMB is maybe do some testing if you want to try AdWords Express. But what I'm doing specifically is running traffic into the ecosystem from from YouTube with AdWords. And it works really well, guys, because especially if you're in a market, an industry or if the business is in an industry that is listed in the in-market audience targeting inside of YouTube. That is incredibly powerful because those people are already in the market for that product or service. For example, roofing services is one of the in-market audiences. I know I've got a couple of roofing clients and we're running what's just really branding campaigns for them. We've taken one of their videos, added them as in-stream ads, and we're set up the geographic targeting for their service area. So it might be a 30-mile radius, a 40-mile radius, whatever from where their business location is. And then we choose the proper audience targeting, such as, in this case, in-market audiences for roofing services. And then, so anybody in that area that's on that Google bucket, in that Google bucket of people in the market for roofing services, anytime they're surfing YouTube, right, on YouTube, watching any videos, our video has the chance to play in front as a in-stream ad or a pre-roll ad, right? And so if they're already in the market for that, whether they click on the video or engage on the video or not, now it's that name of that roofing company getting in front of them. And Google says that they're in market for roofing services. So what happens with those type of ads, guys, is if you do get clicks, IP click from a known Google user that is in market for that service, do you think that click, that engagement signal is weighted more than other types of random engagement signals? Of course, because Google knows where that person was, where they came from, what they've been interested in, what their recent search history is, and their locality, where they're located, right? And so when they click through, that's a huge engagement signal. But even if they don't click through, now you're getting your name in front of them. And then what happens is, it's called a view through conversion. If they've been exposed to your ad, but they don't take action, they don't click through actually from the ad to whatever the target URL is, typically a landing page or whatever, but let's say that they got exposed to your brand name because of that ad. And then later on that day, the next day, whatever, they do a brand name search and then click through the organic listing or the maps listing to that brand. Well, Google's tracked that, and that's called a view through conversion. It's not a direct conversion, but it's called a view through conversion. And that's where I found the most success with using in-market audiences for local video ads, is by just set it up as a branding campaign. You don't promise any leads. You just tell the business what it's for. And guys, I'm doing this with $1 a day budget. It's $30 a month. And you can even reduce it. I can't share the strategy here, guys. In the mastermind, I share it. But there's a strategy where you can reduce your maximum cost per view bid all the way down to 2 cents and still get just as much engagement as if you had it at 35 cents, just as much exposure, as if you had it at 35 cents per view. Cost max, that's what you're willing to pay per view, all the way down to 2 cents and still get every bit as much exposure. So then you can actually reduce your ad spend down to 50 cents a day. That's $15 a month, guys, and get results. And again, the results that I'm seeing, if you can use in-market audiences, is setting it up as a branding campaign and then start watching over time. You'll see the view through conversions start creeping up. And those are leads that come through that were exposed to the brand, but didn't do a direct click at that moment. They came back at a later time and did it, most likely because they were exposed to that brand through that ad. If that makes sense. It's a great strategy, guys. Again, this was just covered in Local GMB Pro, and we also cover it in the mastermind. So anybody want to comment on that or add to it?
Nope, I like it.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, me too.
All right, Jenny, what's up? Jenny, he says, good day to you all. Make it a great one. Quick question with local lead gen. Do you have a follow-up sequence to the leads that come through your lead gen forms? Do you generate a list, money is in the list, right, and market to them other home products or services, or does this not apply to local home repair lead gen? Can it be applied somehow? Yes, it absolutely can, Jenny. Do I do it? No, I've set that up for, in fact, one of my roofing clients, we were just talking about roofing clients. One of my roofing clients, I set all that stuff up for him. Well, shit, he's been a client for 5 years now. So I set it all up for him 5 years ago before I was wise enough to realize that I should have owned all of it, that asset, but I built it all out for him instead. And think about this, guys. This is, Jenny, I'll completely answer your question in a minute, but think about the opportunity, guys, that this presents. For example, a roofing lead. Think about this. When a roof leaks, it causes a lot more damage than just the roof. You need more contractors than just a roofing contractor. You're going to need a drywall contractor to repair wet drywall on the ceilings. You're going to need a painting contractor. You're likely going to need a carpet cleaner and or new carpet installation, right? You're going to need, maybe, depending on how bad the leak was for a roof leak, you might end up needing water damage restoration company to come in and, you know, suck the water out and bring in those big fans to dry shit and all that. You guys get the point. So what I'm saying is, with a roofing lead, I set all this up for my one of my clients years ago. He takes the leads that come in and then sells the same roofing lead, the contact information, to a painting company, a drywall company, carpet cleaning company, and a water damage restoration company. He sells the same freaking lead to all 4 of them. So he monetizes it by bidding on the job himself, and then he sells that lead to 4 contractors. I'm pretty sure he's got exclusive contractors for those. But the point is, he's actually monetized. Whether he gets the job or not, he makes money from the lead. Does that make sense? So that's a smart idea. Now, I haven't set that up. I tried setting that kind of structure up for tree service leads, but there's not really a whole lot of tangent services for tree services, other than perhaps landscaping, which a lot of the tree service companies actually do landscaping work. So as far as, can you build a list? Yeah, you can. I typically do not for that kind of stuff. I probably should. But the reason why I don't is because I'm not getting express permission from the leads when they submit a contact request form for like a contractor to call them to schedule an estimate or whatever. I'm not getting express permission. I could probably squeeze it in somehow on the opt-in form or something, but asking them if I could mail them, you know, related offers and stuff like that. So I typically don't. I'm probably leaving money on the table, Jenny. It's something you could pursue, and I would recommend that you do, but it's not something I've done. Building an actual list anyways. But I mean, think about it, guys, because you could do that, build a list and an email. I'd be real careful about being too spammy though, but you could email out offers like, you know, discount offers, coupon offers, CPA offers, things like that for home improvement related stuff. I'm just assuming that the leads you're collecting are for home improvement services, right? So that's very possible. It's a good idea. Absolutely, it can be applied. I just haven't done it anytime recently. You guys want to comment on that as well? That's a great question, Jenny.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Bradley. If you have that, if you have the ability, because the people are interested in the topic, right? That's what you're building. After all, you're building a platform of people and a group of people and a list of people interested around a particular topic. So yeah, you can monetize it as long as you have permission. You can monetize it in several different ways. So yeah, that's thinking creatively.
I'm doing more remarketing stuff now, so you know that's how I do it. Because once you build the remarketing list, if they've engaged with your, or even landed on your landing page, then you got them on a remarketing list, and now I can remarket any sort of ads to them that I want. It doesn't have to be specifically about the service from the landing page, right? So if they land on a roofing landing page, then it's very likely, or I could very well remarket ads to them for pay-per-call services, like, for carpet cleaning and drywall and painting crews and things if I wanted. Or I could probably just remarket, like have other contractors in place that are buying leads from me and then remarket to them, where a click sends them to a landing page for a painting contractor, for example, right? So they came in on a roofing landing page because they need roofing services, but now they're on a remarketing list and they're getting banner ads following them around the web that's saying, hey, you just had a leak. You probably need a painting contractor. Click here. And it takes them to my painting contract. Does that make sense? There's a lot of, that just stirred up a whole lot of ideas that I could be doing with remarketing stuff, Jenny. That's something I would do, because then it doesn't even require email. Email is still very effective, guys. Don't get me wrong. But what I like about remarketing is it's so simple, and I'm sure Hernan could agree with me on that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because if you think about it, you already done the heavy lifting, right? At that point, that people are interested. They click on a listing, they click on an ad, they visit something. So I think that remarketing for any kind of purposes and for any kind of businesses is usually the highest ROI campaign that you could possibly have, right? Yeah. Because of that fact that you're working with those folks that they already shown interest in an offer, whatever that is. So.
Yep. Awesome. Gordon's up. What's up, Gordon? He says, hey, guys, thank you very much for your Hump Days help. It is greatly appreciated. Well, thank you, Gordon. He says, I think you said in the past that if you were trying to rank a lead gen site's pages for different city locations, you should have separate GMB profiles as well as separate directory profiles with different fake addresses and phone numbers for each city. Not talking about the GMB 3-prac ranking, just search engine ranking. Fake addresses and phone numbers for each city. Is this correct? And if so, will sites like Yelp, Yellow Pages, etc., allow you to have multiple profiles for the same business brand name, or do they need to be linked in some manner? Okay, I'm not 100% sure on the question, Gordon. I don't. I mean, I know you got fake in parentheses, or excuse me, quotes. So I'm not sure what you mean by fake. When I say fake address, guys, when I say spam addresses, I'm talking about using Google My, post office boxes to set up GMB listings. That's what I mean. They're not fake. They're real addresses, but they're PO boxes, right? Which is not technically, it's against terms of service. But I still do it anyways, right? And it works. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, again, I don't use fake phone numbers either. I use virtual phone numbers that are forwarding phone numbers. And again, I'm talking about setting up GMB stuff. I don't really try to rank for organic stuff like for multiple cities that much anymore. I do have some clients where that's still they're, because they cover such a large service area. In fact, the 2 roofing clients I was talking about are clients that cover a large service area. But what I've been able to accomplish for them is quite amazing by getting them to rank in so many of their service areas in the 3-pack, at least the ones that are all adjacent to wherever their business is physically located. So that means if they've got a large service area, I'm actually been very fortunate, and a lot of these listings will rank in the maps for all the adjacent localities too, the ones that are directly adjacent to where their physical location is, if that makes sense. And a lot of that has to do with the geo posts and the GMB stuff that we're doing now, as well as the press releases. That really helps a lot. The drive stacks, it really helps a lot. Also having, the syndication network and blogging about it. Like I just mentioned, the geo posts, that's all stuff that really helps. So again, I'm still trying to rank in maps. As far as organic stuff, I'm not sure, because I'm not sure what you mean by fake stuff. But when it comes to Yelp and Yellow Pages, Yelp, for example, first, guys, I want to preface this with, if you can look, Yelp can be a good source of leads and traffic. There's no doubt. But be aware that if you sign a business up for Yelp, that business is going to be hammered with solicitation calls. I mean, they are absolutely relentless, guys. You will get called 3, 4, 5 times a week from multiple representatives from Yelp, and they all give the same bullshit pitch, which is, I'm your new rep from Yelp. I'm taking over your listing, and I just wanted to talk to you about all the ways that we can generate more traffic and leads for your business. You'll get the same damn pitch from every single one of them, and you'll hear from 5 different Yelp reps in the same week. So how could your listing be transferred to 5 different Yelp reps in 1 week? It's not. It's just bullshit. It's their sales tactic, and they're relentless. So if you have multiple locations, Gordon, yes, you can connect them all to Yelp under the business owner account. That's technically how you should do it anyways. But the problem then becomes that you end up getting called for each one of the listings. How do I know? Because I've got one in particular for one of my tree service sites. It's got about 12 locations within the same business owner account. And I literally get called maybe 10 to 15 times per week because of that one stupid listing. Fortunately, I have because of that one company in Yelp. Fortunately, I have a call center that screens all the calls, but I pay for every one of those damn calls, for every call that comes in, every minute that's spent with the call center. And we get a shit ton of Yelp calls from that go through my call center, when the message still gets sent out like, yeah, another Yelp rep called. So my point is, yeah, a lot of the big directories will allow businesses that have multiple locations set up a brand account, one business account, and then they manage all the location listings within the one account. It's a much more efficient way to do it. But just keep in mind that you're opening yourself up to solicitation for advertising services from those platforms. And you need to make sure that the company that you're doing it for, obviously if you're providing, like agency services or whatever, you need to make sure that the company is aware that if you're going to set up a Yelp listing for them, let them know that they're going to get hammered with sales calls. Make them aware of that, okay? So, guys, I've gotten to the point with Yelp where I don't even want to create a listing on Yelp anymore, even though I know there's a lot of traffic and leads to come from Yelp. it's honestly, to me, it's more of a headache than it's worth. So, okay. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. Jordan says, hi, Hernan, excuse me, Hernan and Marco and Chris. What does it feel like to have a team in the World Cup? Okay, no comment.
Feels good, man. What can I say?
I guess Jordan's a soccer fan. I'm not much of one.
Yeah.
Ronald Ray.
I'm not much of a soccer fan either, so I'm into baseball and football.
There you go.
That makes no difference to me, Jordan, whether Costa Rica's. I mean, I'd like Costa Rica to win a couple of games, but it makes no difference.
Yeah, I know that Jordan is a big soccer fan, so yeah, man. Here, like literally, the country Argentina literally stops functioning the minute the World Cup starts, and even further when Argentina plays. It's crazy. So tomorrow we have a game, so it's gonna be 2 hours of dead productivity for the country.
Dead silence for. Nothing productive gets done during the game.
Oh
right?
No.
It's awesome.
It's nuts.
All right, Ronald raises up. He says, "Is the GMB done for you service ready yet?" Not yet, but we're working on it, Ronald. I know you're kind of excited. We all are. Yeah, I am, and I am too. So it's not ready yet. Do we have an ETA on that yet, Marco?
Well, as you know, we had a hiccup with the 2 VAs that I was training.
Yep.
One got sick, and the other one just couldn't handle the hours.
Yeah. And
so I had to go and hire another one, and I'm actually looking for one more, so that we can really get this going. She's the girl that I have now. She's great, and she's almost finished with the training. And then what she has with me is just going over everything and make sure that she can do it the way that we expect it to be done. And then that'll be done this week. Next week we go into how to do posts, and she's going to learn how to do the auto posting service. So we're even going to offer that, where she can go in and schedule posts for a month at a time for you. And then we just have to figure out what kind of price we're going to be offering for that.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about it too. Scott apparently is as well. Looking forward to GMB done for you. Question: will you be implementing a traffic source like crowdsearch.me? No, certainly not that one. A lot of those apps are really just not useful so much for. I don't know if it would be useful for GMB stuff. We haven't tested it, but I know I wouldn't recommend it for money site traffic anymore. For YouTube and social traffic, referral traffic, yeah, it still has its place. But I wouldn't want to drive traffic direct to a money site for using those kind of apps anymore. A lot of that stuff has been flagged, or it's just flat out not counted, even though it might show in analytics. And we know, because we've done a lot of testing in this, guys. We tried to build our own and spent more money than I care to admit, and we failed. We were never able to get it to work the way that we knew it needed to work, and that's why we never launched it. And we're out a shit ton of money over it, but it is what it is. We tried, and so that's why, again, we certainly aren't going to recommend. I stopped using those services, guys. There's a reason for it, right? So no, we're not going to be implementing sources like crowdsearch.me. We've got some other stuff we're working on that we may be able to at some later date talk more about. But right now, what I recommend doing is just, again, you're in local GMB Pro, Scott. I just posted about this in the training yesterday. Like, if you want to drive traffic into it, you can do it very cheaply with YouTube ads, right? Very cheaply.
Scott's also a beta tester. He has access to both the YouTube views, and Scott, those are real people. So if you could try getting people to a YouTube video that directs them to the GMB, find out more about the company, or however it is that you want to direct those people. You just have to put quality videos in. Guys, I keep telling you all of this, not just you, Scott, because I don't want it to seem like I'm picking on you. You have to put quality videos in front of these people. These are real people. If you give them garbage, they're going to trash your video, and it's going to have the opposite effect that you expected. People are not going to click on your video just because it's number one. People are not going to react well if you give them garbage, right? This is we're in a visual age. So give them a good video, give them good CTAs, get them over to your GMB, and that's going to work much better than feeding them garbage or feeding them bot traffic or whatever else it is that you're thinking about. So reach out to me in the beta testing group, and we'll see what we can do about setting something up. And that's what the beta testing group is about. We set up tests, and so we'll set up a test and see how well that works out.
Yeah, I jumped off screen share for a minute because I'm trying to load a case study YouTube channel for the local GMB Pro, just because I want to show something here. Stand by for a minute, guys, and I'll be able to grab the screen again. But this is just to reinforce what Marco was just saying about the YouTube views service. That's still in beta only, right, though, Marco?
I mean, it's ready to go live.
Okay.
Anytime we want. We just have to set up pricing, how it's all. I'm just waiting for benefits, how to use it, what you can expect. It's a bunch of things that need to go on that landing page where people go, and so that they can get the most benefit from it.
So this is what I wanted to share. This is the video. I know it's small, guys. Let me zoom in a little bit. All right. So this is a video for that I just set up. The training that I'm talking about that I updated Local GMB Pro with on how to set up YouTube ads to run traffic into the GMB Pro the GMB ecosystem. This is the ad that I set up. So this was just within the last 24 hours, guys. And what's wait a minute. No, that's not it. I've got that on another video. This video is showing the traffic that's come to it from our YouTube views tool. The one that we're talking about that's in beta currently. But it's available. I mean, it's ready. We just got to get everything set up. The traffic that is coming is look at what it's showing from analytics. It's coming from YouTube advertising. So these are real people. I don't know how. I don't even understand how we're doing it because I don't get it involved in the back end of the software and stuff. But that's freaking amazing. I don't know, because Marco, I don't remember you telling me that before. And when I was taking a look at analytics yesterday and I was seeing this, I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive, because the views that have come through are all coming. They're being shown as YouTube advertising views, and that's from that service, our service. Does that make sense? Comment? No comment.
No.
That is pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I want to start testing it too.
The traffic's 94% from the United States, guys. And that's what I wanted. I selected the United States, so a little bit trickles in from some other areas, but that would be natural, right? It would be unnatural to have all traffic coming. Well, I don't know about unnatural, but this seems to me logical that some traffic would trickle in from some other areas, because that's typically what you'll see.
There will be bleeding, and it's natural. You have to look at your analytics. Everyone, you have to look at your analytics, and you have to understand traffic. The great thing about this is that you can't simulate the analytics like the user agents that these people use, the devices that these people use, where it's mostly mobile, because that's what we want. And you can only get that from real people. That's what I want people to understand about this service that we're going to be providing. And yes, it is mostly, it looks like YouTube ads traffic.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, you cannot run ads to that video while you're running our views, because it'll show a conflict. Well, how can you run ads from one place and get ads from another? And so that's explained in the video that's posted it's a little tutorial video where I talk about, do not run ads while you're running YouTube views to the video that you're looking to rank or whatever. But we're getting fantastic results. Someone was telling us they're #1 in YouTube search for a really competitive term. Other people have managed to hit top 5, top 3 for other, less competitive, but still, when you're dealing in these spaces where it's services and, you're talking about plumbing, you're talking about HVAC, you're talking about a whole lot of things that are competitive, no matter how small or big the city is. There's still a lot of competitiveness, and to be able to outrank people just from these views, it just goes to show that it works. And getting people to look at your videos and react the way that real people do is the way to go.
Agreed. Okay. Let's see. I see the next question from Bob McAllister. He says, do you guys use AdWords? I'm having issues getting a call-only ad set up. If you could give me some quick advice, like how to find it. It's really actually simple. I mean, I can't go into AdWords and set it up right now. We don't really have the time for that, Bob. And that's typically not something we would do on a Hump Day Hangouts anyways. But it should be fairly simple. I'm not, criticizing you at all, but call only ads are typically a lot easier than like even having, because really all you need is a domain, like a landing page that has basically the keyword on it and contact information. And you don't even send people to a landing page, but you have to have a URL to set up a call only ad. And it's just, I guess, to confirm or verify that the business exists. I'm not quite sure why, but they require that. But the call only ad, you know, it's fairly easy to set up. I would just use Google AdWords help files to go through the process. If you, or seriously, like, it's very simple. I mean, again, I see it, to me, it's simple to set up. Now setting up like call ads and call conversion tracking from landing pages, that's a bit geekier because you have to add code that will, it's like JavaScript code that will automatically change the phone numbers displayed, the number that's displayed on the website so that Google can track click through, like, you know, conversions from somebody that clicked through from an ad but then made a phone call once they landed on your site. That's called a call conversion or call conversion tracking. And so that kind of stuff's a bit geekier, but a call only ad is just literally an ad that displays the headline 1, headline 2, and then and upon click, it's a phone call because it's a mobile ad, right? Does that make sense? And so those are typically really easy to set up. So I would just go through the AdWords help files. Also go to YouTube and just search how to set up a call only ad. I guarantee you're going to find multiple videos there that have a walkthrough of how to set that up. Okay.
And Bob, when you're ready, what I would suggest, and if you're looking to grow your business, which I'm sure you are, I mean, just come join our mastermind, because these are questions that we would deal with in depth. In the mastermind, you'd have an answer usually within 24 hours, unless it's the weekend, of course. And then you could always ask the question during a mastermind webinar, and we'd cover it. And we'd actually go in and show you how to do it. So that's one of the benefits of being in the mastermind. Or you could just pay one of us our consultation fee and get us one-on-one, and we'd show you how to do it, which, I mean, for the price of the mastermind, you'd get that from us included in that membership fee. So I highly suggest mastermind is the way to go for all of these things that you're having trouble with.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
And Bob's been following us for quite some time. I know that for years because I've seen Bob's image for years. So, plus he was in other groups before, really, with me before Semantic Mastery even was a thing. So, Jordan, so using Bright Local, and I saw I needed some citations that had come through expressupdate.com, submitted nothing, and then called. We have a GMB through a post office that got verified on GMB and BING. But Express Updates lady said, oh, we can, I guess, use this as a PO box, so we're going to use that. Crap. Will that hurt me too much or cause problems? Yeah, it can, Jordan. The problem with having inconsistent data published on an aggregator is that over time, many other directories will auto-create listings from that data. And so what I would do is I would contact Express Update again, and even if you have to buy a year's worth of, you know, you pay for like a year to have a listing there. They'll give you free listings. But what I'm saying is I would contact them and say, no, this is unacceptable. This is going to hurt. We have a street address option for this business. Yes, it's a PO box, but our NAP is the street address. We want it corrected. Even if we have to pay for the listing for the year separately for just Express Update, it would be worth it, in my opinion, because it could very well cause NAP issues down the road. And so I would absolutely try to square that away. And I would tell Express Update that's bullshit. Like, you know, I would just be like, look, we have our listed verified address is such. It is this. Check it out on the GMB profile if it's a listed address, not a hidden address. And maybe you have to provide something to prove that that's the actual listed address of the business, whatever the case may be. I would try to jump through those hoops to make it happen. And again, I would even offer up, if needed, to pay for the listing, because I know they have upgraded listing services or whatever. But in that case, like I said, it could cause problems. It could come back and bite you in the ass down the road. Probably not immediately, but months down the road, as more and more listings get created from data scrapers that scrape those aggregate sites, you're going to end up having NAP issues. So I would get ahead of the problem now, is what I'm saying. Sucks, Jordan. That kind of stuff happens. Will the event keynotes be recorded and accessed and sold if we cannot make it? Oh, you mean to the live event, Pofu Live? Yeah. I think we've talked about doing something like that. Adam, do you have anything concrete?
Yeah, I missed the very beginning of that. Can you repeat that?
Will the event keynotes be recorded and access be sold if we cannot make it to Pofu Live?
Most likely in some way, shape, or form. Our biggest goal, just being transparent, is to provide the best experience for the people who are there. And since this is our first one, that's where our focus is going to be. We would obviously love to record it, and if the quality comes through, yeah, we'll definitely look at doing that. But there's probably going to be some stuff that's only for the people there. And Absolutely. Then again, our focus is just to make it there. And then, we're going to try to hire someone to come in and do it. But yeah, so the short answer is our goal is, but stay tuned. Our goal is to put on the live event, make it great for the people that are there, and then we'll see if we can get good recordings for everyone else.
Yeah, my thoughts on this are there may be portions of it that we make available, but there's going to be obviously a lot of stuff that we cover in the live event that will be exclusive and only covered in the live event, not even in Mastermind, because that's what live events are, right? You come to join the network and also to get some knowledge that you can't see or hear anywhere else. And that's so that there will be some of that as well. But yeah, I mean, likely there will be something that we will also produce out of the live event. But again, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So Dan says, what is a good amount of calls, leads using GMB? I was getting over 2,600 people finding a customer's business, 47 phone calls, and 35 asked for directions before doing any posts. Curious what results have been for the test in GMB. Well, to be honest, the case study that I'm doing is not producing calls nearly as much as some of the other, like my contractor type clients. Remember, this is a newer industry. It's a brand new industry for me, the taxi cab service. I've never done any work in that. And it's interesting to not see so many calls coming through GMB as what I'm seeing in some of my contractor type sites. But still not bad considering it's new, and I haven't done really any traditional SEO stuff other than a couple PRs. But remember, there's not even a companion website yet. I'm just using the GMB website. However, it really depends. It's probably going to vary, Dan, from business to business or industry to industry, really. Because I know, for example, the preschool, which is kind of interesting to me, the preschool that I've got a client that has 2 locations. He owns a preschool in 2 different locations. And man, it's crazy how much engagement he gets. So it'll show the number of impressions that Maps has given his listing. And then a full 40% and of the 40% of the number of impressions given resulted in some sort of action, whether it's phone call, click through to the website, or request driving directions. That's a huge percentage. 40% of the number of impressions have engaged with the listing. And I find that to be incredibly high. However, I mean, even my roofing clients, for example, I'm only doing the GMB Pro method for one of those clients. And he gets some ungodly amount of impressions per month. And something like last month, I think he had 147 phone calls. It's just insane. So I think it's going to vary. Dan, maybe Marco has a better benchmark, but I think it's going to vary by industry or per industry.
Definitely, it depends on the amount of phone calls. If it's a high price item, you can't expect 500 calls, because one call or 2 calls is all you're going to need to be profitable for the month. And so with Mario, we are finding that there are issues, but I think a lot of it has to do with Mario not providing us images from the area that are geotagged. But we solved that problem with the last webinar update that I did. I showed people how to get unlimited local images, and it's dead simple. I'm surprised nobody thought of it before. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I like to tinker, and I like to solve problems. When I see a problem, I look for solutions. I don't focus on the problem. I just focus on a way around it and how I can give people a solution, right? Something simple, something effective. And I found it, and I'm actually going to do a follow-up to that. When I do a follow-up in a couple of weeks, I'm going to make the the replay of the original webinar available. I'm announcing it now. I'll announce it in the groups. But you know, I've had enough people ask me, oh, I want to see that again, or I missed it. Damn, I really wanted to see it. So it's going to be a 2-for-1. I'm going to do a little bit more, go in depth on how you can get even more, not only images, but actually local videos, just a whole bunch of things that you could do to add local relevance to everything that you're doing. To me, that's what really works. When you add all of that local relevance, when you have an active owner that's going all around town and taking pictures and actually helping you, because it's their business. I mean, you need to make that like it has to be in the contract or whatever you sign. You have to give me content, and this is the content that I need. And if you don't, then I'm washing my hands and I can't help you, because no content means that you don't get shit.
Yeah. And I agree with that, except that's why I've been working with my VAs to try to develop, you know, and implement ways for us to create the content that will still work and provide the same level or similar benefits as if we had original photos taken on location from a mobile device, right, with the geotags. Because honestly, I've got, you know, a handful of clients now that I'm doing this service for, and not a single, well, one of them has started to trickle in some images and some local some videos from their tech. It's a pest control company, mosquito control company. So they do like mosquito and tick control. They spray outside. And so fortunately, I'm getting a few videos and images from them. But out of the several clients that I've got signed up now, other than them, nobody has provided me with any images. And even though that was when I made the proposal for the service, that was part of it, was I'm going to need images. I set up Google Photos folders for each one of them, and nobody's giving me any damn images. And so I'm certainly not going to cancel the contract in, well, I don't do contracts, but cancel the service and say, never mind, I don't need your money, because they're not providing me images. So fortunately, Marco came up with some ideas or some methods for how to do that. And we're trying to get our VAs to implement as much as possible. So, okay, we're almost out of time, guys. We'll try to, oh, cool. We're almost done too. Greg. Thanks, Greg. Can't go one Hump Day Hangout without a meme. We have to have a meme in every Hump Day. Tommy says, do you recommend easyblognetworks for PBN hosting? I don't recommend... Tommy, I'm not being, I don't mean to be a jerk. I don't know. I can't tell you. EasyBlog, I don't do PBN stuff. I haven't for 2 years now, at least. So I really don't know what to tell you, and I apologize for that. It's just PBN stuff isn't stuff I deal with anymore. So I really can't tell you what's best practice now. So I'm sorry, I can't give you any more information on that. The problem with PBNs, guys, is the footprints are so easily detectable now. It's so difficult. I mean, you have to be really, really good. We had a webinar for the mastermind members with Roman Barnes, who he did a really in-depth webinar about all the footprint stuff that Google checks for now, and it's all done algorithmically. Like it's done automatically in a fraction of a second. You know, it can determine and identify footprints through so many different data points now that it's to me, it's just overwhelming to try to hide that footprint to make PBNs even worth the while. I know there's a lot of people still getting a lot of good success from it, guys. I'm just telling you, for me, I've found other ways that don't require near as much setup and or, don't require near as much work. So what is
Greg?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Greg Drebert has a really good question. He wants an example of a good video versus a bad video.
I totally missed that question. I'm sorry, Greg. I did.
And the answer is actually dead simple, Greg. You go in and you type in YouTube search the general keywords that you want to drive traffic from, the ones that get traffic. You look at the videos that people are doing, the ones that get really a ton of views with a ton of comments, good comments. You see the subscribers, if they're getting subscribers, and I always tell people, you do what the big guys are doing, but you always try to do one better. So whatever they do plus one, it's really that simple.
Yep. I can tell you what doesn't work are those stupid slideshow videos with music now. Like, that were used to work 5 years ago, those don't work anymore. No, they're not compelling enough. you got to have a voice track, you know, stuff like that, guys. People expect more now. So those stupid slideshow videos from all those spam tools where it's just a music track with various images and a text overlay with a call to action, that shit just barely, I mean, it very rarely works anymore. It's not even worth the time. So yeah, thanks, Greg. Totally skipped over your question, so I deserve that. Okay, what's the link for live event? We don't have one yet, Paul. You'll know when we do. If you're interested in
if I may add, Paul, just contact support at semanticmastery.com, and the guys will give you details on, you know, the actual super special discount that we're doing just for, you know, as an early bird, until we have our landing page up, if that makes sense. So it's just contact support.
Yep, that's what I was going to say, was if you're interested in the early bird that we talked about, just contact support. We don't have a link for it yet, but contact support and we'll get your name on the list, and make sure that you get that. Brian, how do you get videos to link to GMB? Just link to them. Just link to them. Link to the full URL, though, guys. You can't shorten it. You got to use the full URL. That's how you do it. It works. Trust me. I just did it yesterday again. Let's see. I wasn't able to get on the webbie where you talked about on local. Yes, that's what I just said, Dan. You'll get access to the webbie from Monday during Marco's next webinar. Okay. All right, guys. 5:01. So I just went 1 minute over today. Thanks, everybody, for being here.
Perfect. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
See ya.